You said real estate teaches you about grace. I feel like that's so true.
I said that?
Yes, I know. I don't know what
sounds
happened
really
that
good.
day. I know.
I would tell the earlier self to treat your business like a business. Because when I got my tax bill, my first full year, and I owed $48,000, and I was like, oh my God, what?
I showed a house very recently. There was a stripper pole in the middle of the living room that was like bolted in, but in the photos online, it was photoshopped out.
Well, hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Behind the Glass. My name is Evan Kloth. I'm one of the broker owners of Glasshouse Realty Group, and today I have a couple guests where we are going to discuss the nature of the real estate team in our markets. I remember, probably 10 years ago, teams in the real estate industry weren't that big of a thing. There were some companies, even if I recall, that were even sort of not big proponents of agents starting teams, whereas now they've become much more of a popular thing. And for brand new agents, I mean, everybody wants to be on a team. Everybody may want to start a team. So today we're going to talk about the nuances of that. I've got two wonderful agents here with me today that are both Glasshouse agents that run productive teams. Both of them do things a little bit differently. And I think after today, it's going to inform people that there's more than one way to skin a cat when running a real estate team, and why you did it, how it works, pitfalls, and all that good stuff. So we're just very happy to have these two ladies here today joining me. We have Lauren Dillon and we have Elizabeth Cooper. So we would just like you guys to introduce yourselves real quick and just kind of just to start things off, how long you've had a team, and maybe just an overarching view of like what makes your team special in your guys' opinions.
Oh my God, like how long did you say we have? I don't know. Okay.
Take your time. Take your time.
I'm Elizabeth Cooper. I am the founder and a team partner of the Dayton Real Estate Crush team. I've been in real estate 7.5 years, and the team really came right along after that. So we've been a team for about 7 years now. What do I think makes us really special? We are kind of set up to be like a collaborative or a co-op versus a team. So everybody's coming, bringing their own ideas. I would say that's one of the big things. We're learning from each other. It's not the Elizabeth Cooper team and then like everything trickles from there. If we weren't learning aside each other all the time, like we wouldn't have the group that we do. So that's a different vibe from what I've heard as far as some teams function. And then like having fun in your culture. So the culture is the other big thing. We named it Dayton Real Estate Crush, which some people think is super silly. But it's because we think real estate should still be fun. Yes, it's serious, but like a lot of fun can happen too. So those are kind of some of our core things that got us rolling in the beginning. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure more will be uncovered, right?
My name is Lauren Dillon. I have been in real estate for about 6.5 years now, which is wild. I feel like time flies when you're having fun. So I started the Envision Group about 3 years ago. We actually just had our 3-year birthday, July 27th. So I started the team because I saw a lot of agents struggling. They had that deer in the headlights kind of look, kind of floating, not really sure how to navigate real estate. Once you get out of school, you don't really get the tools to deal with the day-to-day of real estate. So I kind of was approached. I talked about a team later when I have 2 little girls, and I was talking about starting a team later when they were both in school full time. And I was approached about needing that leadership. A couple agents said, if you were ever to start a team, we would definitely be interested. And that kind of got my mind going. It was sooner than I anticipated. I wasn't really ready to start yet, but we got the ball rolling, and it's been a blast. The team has, I feel like culture, what you were saying about culture is super important in a team dynamic. You've got to feel like a family, and getting together in person, doing things, having team meetings, but also doing things outside of real estate to really have a good bond and support each other and be each other's cheerleaders. So That's why I started it.
And those are both wonderful reasons to start a team. Go ahead,
I was
Elizabeth.
gonna say, I love that we talked about this too, like where it was kind of an accidental thing. Like, so
Yes.
when it first started for our group too, it was like, oh, I needed some help with an open house or something like that. And so these people organically, really, like the whole thing was like, oh, well, you're giving me these opportunities. Like, why don't we just work together? You know? And then people see like you on social media, like, oh, they're having fun. And now they want to do it too. Like, never did I think, like starting real estate and being a couple months in, oh, I'm going to have a 20-person team. Like, and all of that has been organic except for one. Like, we really went after one, Missy Sanseverino, real hard because we wanted her to be on the team. But otherwise, like, people just see what you're doing, and it was like an accident, really, And then you realize, okay, oh, what do I need to help service a team of this size or whatnot? Or people see then you're successful and are like, oh, I want to get on this too. And then it's like, okay, what is the monster that I have now, and what's that looking like now? But I thought it was cool that we both were like kind of on accident.
Yeah,
that
it
the
really
team-
was. It was definitely on accident. It was one of those things where I'm so happy it happened. I'm so thankful that we have the team and that we all really love it. I mean, we all kind of feel like a family. So, and Glasshouse feels like a family anyway. So I feel like it was kind of a perfect mix. So
Those are both wonderful answers. So it sounds like, sort of on accident, but more for a cultural, let's have fun. Lauren, in your case, kind of saw the need or was approached with a need for that camaraderie and that team aspect. Both wonderful things. And in Mo and I's experience, and I think more often than not, like you guys had a very much more organic way. And Mo and I were a little bit different. And I think a lot of people kind of progress into a team structure because of the time issue. I mean, Mo and I knew we wanted to start Glasshouse. We were successful sales agents, but we kind of knew pretty quickly that we couldn't do both things at once, at least effectively. So it was time to take a step back, let very competent folks take over, be leaders to the best we could in teaching the ropes to folks, but kind of let it go and focus on growing our company. So, and I think that's why a lot of successful agents, end up starting teams. I don't know that there's the best time, the right time to do so, but a lot of times I think agents get super busy, and it comes to that point where it's like, well, if I want to scale my business, I'm going to have to start thinking a little bit differently here, and I can't do everything myself. And I know Mo will tell you that I'm the worst. I'll tell you. I don't have to ask him. I'll tell you that I am the worst and still pretty bad about delegating. And I think for a lot of agents, it's not like it's a time issue as much as it's a being willing to delegate issue and let it go. And I think it was just how I was raised, where it's, you want something done right, do it yourself sort of mentality. And that cannot be the mentality of a team lead and in real estate. So what are your guys' thoughts on that in particularly?
I think you get to the point where you realize, like, if you want to reach a certain level, like scaling, right, you have to have help. And especially like, so started in 2019, right? Like COVID was quickly after that. I don't know how a single agent would service their client appropriately in that time unless they had one client, I mean, something was hitting the market. You had to get out there in a couple hours. You had to have new tactics at all times on how you were going to win. With a group, we never had to miss a beat. It's like, you were able to really service the client appropriately and still grow your business. So we were able to act faster than anybody. We learned faster than anybody because we were getting together in person once a week, even with COVID, with masks on and everything, and learning what's winning now. I mean, we saw some of the craziest things in my life. Like,
goodness.
here's a pet pizza for life, pet grooming for a year. I mean, just like crazy things and contracts. But it was like, what does it take to win now? Because you're going out and competing against 20 people in the same house. So it's a need for sure. Like, if you want to scale your business to a certain point and still offer excellent service to your client, I think. And we consider kind of like a circular model too. Like, I want people in different stages at all times, right? It's great to have new agents coming in, and they are hopefully the most hungry and have a little bit more time on their hands so they can do the showings and the things while you're teaching them how to work in the business. You want the experienced agent, that's getting out there and really doing the volume and then the rock stars. And the rock stars then need the other people in the team too. So with that great mix at all times, if you don't have one of those equations, it's a challenge, I think. So you need someone really hungry, and you still want the rock stars all at once. So I think I don't know how I'd do it without a team. I really can't imagine it. The community is just killer.
Yeah, Lauren, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, so it's funny you were talking about COVID. I vividly remember having a new baby and like my husband's like feeding me dinner while I'm writing like 15 contracts a night. So I was a single agent at that point, and it was wild. It was definitely wild. I will say with the team dynamic and to what you said about having people in different places in their real estate career, I think that's super important too, because when you have agents who are seasoned vets, I like to call them, that have been doing it a while and have some knowledge that they can train your newer agents who are just coming on and may not understand negotiating through inspections or working on closing tactics with getting a deal under contract. I think having that, we call it round table when we have our team meetings. So everyone kind of talks about what they're working on, what clients are looking in what areas, what listings they have coming, and challenges that they're having on their day-to-day business and how we can overcome those challenges. For example, like, I have this property, it's sitting, it's not selling. What are you seeing that I'm not seeing? And as a group, we're all each other's cheerleaders. So we can really communicate to, hey, I think this looks really good, but maybe you need to get a deep clean, or maybe you need to get it staged, or hey, I saw another property closed down the road, $20,000 less than where you're currently priced at. Maybe that's something to consider. Are you hosting open houses? Just kind of brainstorming with each other and really supporting one another.
I think that's what the real estate, most any sort of business, but certainly at Glasshouse, we tout that, our culture. I mean, like you said, Elizabeth, when I came out of real estate school, I was like, wow, I passed these classes. I passed the test. I didn't know shit about anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's true for everyone. I mean, God bless the great state of Ohio, but you take that, you take those courses, and does that really prepare you to be a real estate agent? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that you could get on a team where you have a familial feel going on and everybody helps one another is certainly, I think, just you can't put a price tag on that. We've tried to do that at Glasshouse, and of course that gets harder as you get 300-400 agents. But we've always had that mindset where we're open source. Everybody helps everybody. If our top producer who sells 30-40 million a year by themselves isn't willing to help, so-and-so right out of school, then, that's bad for business, bad for culture. At the end of the day, we may be better off without that person, but it's just a matter of everybody helping one another. How do you guys find agents to be on your team? I mean, sometimes they come to you, I think more often than not, because you guys are exceptional at what you do. And being a new agent, I mean, they're probably seeing what's going on and saying, oh my gosh, I could use the tutelage of Lauren or Elizabeth or other team leads at Glasshouse. But you guys go out and search for them. Do you have qualities in mind? Because I can tell you, I don't think everyone's necessarily a perfect fit for a team, necessarily.
We don't we don't tend to solicit at all. Now we are a super active team, so we're out and doing stuff everywhere in Dayton, right? Like realtor events, and so we're out and about for sure. We have changed a little bit, and like before it was like, oh, you want to work with us? Like, because I was like so surprised, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what? Like, and so we were just like, okay, great. Well, okay, now we take a little bit more time in considering that, because as we've been a team, people come in and out, and you realize maybe after the fact that someone really wasn't a great cultural fit for you. So it started out, it was like our question we would ask ourselves was, can we help this person? Okay, great. Well, the answer is pretty much always yes for that, maybe. Like, so then we're like, okay, is this person a good fit for our culture? And so we wrote a cultural statement, and we would go through that each time and have someone, okay, do you agree to these certain things? Like, Do you like to win but not sweep the leg? Are you family oriented? Do you believe in education? Do you want to help the community? Because we found out that some people were just like, don't really care about helping people and stuff. And we're like, what? Like, we
Right.
didn't know those people existed. And so now, like, we take a lot more time with interviewing someone. And now beyond that, it's like, what what are your expectations for this group, and what are you hoping to provide to this group? Like, so we take it a step further, because it's really hard when you invest your care and time into someone and it doesn't work out. Like, and I used to take that really hard,
It feels like a breakup.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I
And I'm
know.
like, what did I do wrong? And
Yes.
nothing, like they weren't going to be in real estate really, So,
It's the 80-20 rule.
oh, and that's
Yes.
so many.
I
It,
know.
it is. It is. But it's the truth of the matter, though, and it's something you think about as you're planning to scale and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I can spend a lot of time and energy on trying to help someone. Some of them don't want to be helped. 2 out of 10 might work out and be rock stars for you. So it's a fine line between where you got to invest your time and energy. And I don't know. I've always had that mindset of hire slow, fire fast sort of rationale, where you should be very, very intentional about who you're going to bring onto your company or your team. Another thing is, I think, hire with attitude. I always look to hire attitude. Everything else can be sort of taught,
Mhm.
but if you don't have the attitude, you don't have the gumption. I think if you've been in this game for a little while, you can tell pretty quickly when you meet with somebody if this is going to work out for them, or if they may be better suited behind the scenes, which is also valuable in a team. But
I'm going to have to talk to you more on this, because like I love gambling, and I would not bet on my picks on who I think is going to kill it in this business. Like, I am shocked all the time, like
Mhm.
on who actually, like, so I
That
need to
is
I need to pick your brain later.
sometimes you never know.
Yeah.
that
Sometimes you
is
never know.
true. That's very true. And to piggyback off what you were saying, I've always been approached to join the team, and I was very much like you. Anyone and everyone who kind of came along, I was like, okay, like great, that'd be great. But you learn, right? You live and you learn, and you kind of you decide that your day-to-day culture and your day-to-day stressors matter, right? So anyone, I feel like, can be coached, anyone can be trained, as long as they're, trainable, I guess you would say. But I think that their attitude, I always sit down with agents before I even bring them to the team. So I'll sit down with an agent. Why do you want to join a team? If their top answer is, I just want leads, that's not what we're looking for. You're not going to stay on a team. You're not going to stay in a culture if you just want leads from a team. I think that if they come on and they say, I just really feel like I need grounding. I feel like I need a place to where I can learn and grow and ask questions that may seem dumb at the time, but they're really not. Everyone's learning. And I tell agents, your first 10 transactions are all going to look so different. So call me, text me, FaceTime me. Let's go through this, and don't feel like you're asking a dumb question, because your transactions are all going to be very different. You're going to have hurdles that you may not have had on the first 3 transactions. But I think that getting the good people, getting the people who want a family, getting the people who talk about their children or their spouse, or have those good values that I seek in coworkers, those are the people that I want. So
Elizabeth, what would you say is like the ideal team member for you? What kind of qualities do they possess? Who's going to thrive
Yeah.
versus maybe someone who isn't going to thrive with the Dayton Crush team, for example?
Right? Like, we want someone that cares, like really cares about doing a good job for the client. So money is awesome, don't get me wrong, but that has to be secondary to like making sure that you're doing a great job. Someone that really cares about the community and wants to go out and help it be a better place. We're helping people build home here. It's like an extension of that. Someone that's not gonna, throw a fit if my kid's here, because that's real life, and that's how we do business. So, very family oriented. The thing that like I have trouble pinpointing is who has that passion that's going to go out and do this stuff all the time. Like, so, in the beginning, I mean, and the advice I give everybody, which this is probably horrible, but is to say yes. Like you say yes to every
Yeah.
opportunity given your way, like the first year, and then figure out what you want to do. But I can't always pinpoint who's the person, who's the team, right? That's going to be like, yes, yes, and really hungry, right? Like for that success and building the career and that won't give up and resiliency, right? Like that won't give up after, oh, it doesn't work out the first time or someone didn't call them back because you get a lot of that in the beginning and that can be hard and some people never recover from it.
Sure.
So yeah, that's a lot of characteristics.
It kind of varies. I think you guys have
Yeah.
made some great points on who are those folks out there that are kind of seeking teams, whether or not they're straight out of school and can benefit from a team, someone who's, been around for a little bit, knows the ropes, but is looking for a little bit of a better culture and feel and to feel a little bit more grounded in what they're doing. There's no right or wrong answer, I don't think. I mean, Mo and I have been through a larger team. We've had a smaller team. Right now, we have what I feel like is a well-oiled machine of a team where we've got a young lady who's just, I've never met anyone more like money hungry, and that's great. If
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah.
that's where your mindset is, and that's why you're going to bust your tail, that's wonderful. And we have a guy who wanted to change his life. Not that he had a bad life, but he wanted to get out of the service industry, and he was just someone we met, literally at a restaurant, and right away was like, man, this guy would really be good in real estate, and finally he made the jump and do that. And then we've got another gentleman who's just the guy that works hard, and no one's going to ever meet him and not like him,
Mhm.
kind of thing. So we've got a nice variety of folks that run our team, and it's just been, I mean, they've been a godsend to us, and we are a
Mhm.
little bit of family. We get so busy that we don't, maybe get to see each other or do things together as much. Um, but they operate well on their own. They know they can come to us. They know they can come to each other, and I think that's just, what makes a team is the cultural aspect of it, where everybody's there to help one another. And I think a lot of people, and I'll ask you guys this question: like, you're starting out in real estate, or you're not starting out. You're being successful in real estate already. You see, time is becoming an issue. You got families. Who's the first person you hire? What role do they play? I guess is the main question. When you're starting off, let's make a team. Who's that first hire? What's that look like for you guys?
So my first hire was like an admin and it was like a couple months in. But my transition to real estate was a little bit different because I came from a builder. So I already had a great relationship in place. And so immediately I was doing a lot of data entry and listings where it's like that can take up a lot of hours and I really need to be out meeting people all the time. So I put in for a part-time admin and that was my first hire. And then really everybody from there was helping more in buyer type things than when it came to real estate agents. So doing showings, like I would compensate in people for showings, or needing the open houses done, or things like that, like having somebody run signs for me. So admin first, but then like at the buyer help right after, I would say.
I feel like that's kind of a natural progression for most before I even hear what Lauren's answer is on that one. But I feel like that's kind of a natural progression to kind of lean towards an admin, an assistant, someone to help you. I think that's sort of the more thoughtful from a monetary standpoint, rather than maybe bringing someone on and saying, all right, you get 50% of this, or chart, or bringing on a transaction coordinator, a full-time TSA right off the rip, and paying them, a pretty good portion per transaction and things like that. I think it's kind of a nice training wheel step, at least in my opinion, is let's get an assistant, see if
Mhm.
they can't make my life a bit easier. When at the end of the day, I think that's the whole basis of a team, not to mention an admin, an assistant. All these folks are kind of put in place so that you, as the already successful real estate agent, can go out and do what you do best, which is procure business. Um,
And I need to be really honest about this too. Like, I couldn't handle managing a team of our size. Like, the amount of calls that I imagine, like you were
Mhm.
talking about taking, from at every step of the way, it was too much in order to be able to sell high volume myself. So we really restructured the team then, where the highest producing agents who cared about the culture of the team became partners and they bought in, and the four of us are now equal partners. So we're able to service the team well appropriately because It is a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah, I'd love to hear how. How do you
It
do
is a
all
lot.
that?
Yeah, what was your first move with the Envision Group, Lauren?
Mine was also, it was a transaction coordinator. We structured it a little bit differently. So I didn't hire per se. I had a transaction coordinator that was also an agent. I wouldn't recommend that just because you want your agents out there. You want them showing houses. You want them selling. When a transaction coordinator gets so busy, they're not going to have time to do both. So it becomes that balance where they need to focus on one or the other. Obviously, real estate is more financially appealing than a transaction coordinator in some aspects. But so I feel like for me, it was the transaction coordinator and as the support. You need someone to. When I first started, I had let me think about this, a 3.5-year-old, almost 4-year-old, and a newborn. So yeah, it was wild. I still look back and I'm like, how did I do that? I had Layla in a carrier when she was 11 weeks old. I was going on a listing appointment 1 week after I had her. So like, it was wild. It was crazy. I have no idea how I did it. But it was fun. And like the hustle of it, I mean, it becomes like an addiction. You love looking at properties. You love, writing contracts and seeing your clients' faces just light up when they get an accepted offer. You're cheering for them just as much as like they're excited. Those are the moments that I love. But yeah, to go back, the transaction coordinator was the biggest help and the number one person I would start with if I was growing a team.
Very good. Good answer. And I think these are, I don't know, to me, the whole idea of having a team, or at least having a successful team, not only having people around you. I mean, I think a lot of people think like, oh, I'm going to start a team. It's going to make my life so much easier. I'm going to have all this more time.
No.
But I got news for you.
No.
So it looks like by your guys' faces, you can agree with me that just adding more people to a team does not, all it does is demand more of your time.
Mm-hmm.
But if you train people well, you treat people well, to my point earlier, that allows you to go out and do what you do best. And that's get more business for the team as a whole. So do you guys, I don't know, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, when establishing a team, ideally, I think for me, it would be, let's put some people in place that aren't just, they can do it all, but rather find someone or find multiple people rather that have specializations. And I think a lot of the very successful teams in our market have sort of that idea in mind where, sure, you've got a team lead, you've got an admin on this, you've got a TC or a client care coordinator, I guess is what some people call those folks, because they are literally a part of the transaction from start to finish, every little facet of things. You got people that specialize with showing houses, the buyer's agent. You've got listing agents. A lot of times people have somebody the larger you get, you have somebody that's just on board to run the team. They're the processes, person. And to me, I feel like that's a no-brainer idea to have a cohesive unit, but at the same time, you have individuals that have a specialty where if someone else has a hard time, I know I can go talk to, in our case, Travis runs our team. He is a processes guru. He's exceptional. And I know if I ever have a question, team-wise or Glasshouse at a more global scale, I could talk to Travis because he knows what he's doing and has that specialty about his personality.
We never like drove anybody intentionally or picked somebody intentionally because of their niche or specialty. But it's interesting that you say this now. It has kind of like shaken out that way, So like with a team our size, like we've got a group me and, so that's kind of like a first stop if someone has a question on something. Well, we've got several heavy investors in our group. We have people that work a lot with the military. We have people that work a lot with aging in place or finding your next stop or first-time home buyers. So, and me, home builders. So it's happened accidentally, I guess. And then where we become subject matter experts then within the group, but not formally. But it's now that you say it, yeah.
Just happens organically, yeah.
Yeah, the Envision group, we have kind of not so much specialized in certain topics of buyers, but in geographically. So for example, I live in like the Germantown area. So I specialize in that area. I know the businesses, I know the people. We're very much involved in our community. And then I like to have agents on the team that are spread out. So like Bryce, for example, he's up north. He handles a lot of that. Yellow Springs is another one that Ashley takes care of. Liberty's down south. So like everyone's spread out, which I love that because I don't want to drive all the way up to Springfield or back or vice versa. And knowing that I can trust my agents, like, hey, this is a great client. I really want you to take good care of them. They're very north, and I know they're going to want to see a lot of houses. I think you're going to have a great experience with this agent. And they trust me. And so, my agent takes over and it's organic. And everyone hustles. I will say, like, we all have that fire. And I was that way from the start, and I still am. And I think, and this is probably bad, but I also think that we have that competitive nature, and I like it. I know that's probably not the right thing to say, but we all have that like competitive, like, where's your numbers at? Mine are here. And they're like, well, what are you doing? Like just like picking at each other, but in like a playful brother sister way. And it kind of keeps that drive going. Everyone's very excited. So
I will say that's one hard thing to one of your points there, Lauren, was, and I mentioned I have a hard time just stepping back and delegating and just used to doing things. But that is a hard thing when you establish a team and someone calls and they're so grateful to speak to you, and it's, I was referred to you by this person that you respect so much, and you're so thankful for that. And then you say, I really, really appreciate that. I'm glad you called me. Now here's Chris.
Yeah.
Let me introduce you to Chris.
Yeah.
That's a very hard thing to do.
It
You know what I
is.
mean? But if you establish that, I guess that relationship carries over where it's like, well, that person trusted Lauren, and Lauren, in your case, I guess Liberty's an extension of her.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way this can be a bad move, for us. And that even brings you a little bit more even sense of gratitude for folks who trust you when it's maybe not even you that's going to be doing the day-to-day legwork.
I think that helps with listings too. So like if you're a newer agent and you go to a listing appointment and someone says, well, how many houses have you sold? What's your data? And, they're going to say, I haven't sold one yet. I think it's nice to have a team lead that has the backing. Your name might not be known, but you have the data to support this brand new agent. And that makes sellers feel at ease a little bit, like, oh, okay, you're a team that sold 20 million last year. I feel confident that, this new agent may not have the experience, but they have the support of a team that does have the experience. I think that's important for new agents because it's hard to get your feet wet when you're brand new and you're kind of, running around and deer in a headlights look. You don't really know how to get that first deal. And that one hurdle really propels you forward, I feel like, as a new agent.
Absolutely.
I think it's a huge benefit for clients that they are choosing an agent that's a part of a team. And for example, like I'll go and I'm like, hey, I would really love to show you at any time. And when I can, I absolutely am going to be there. I was like, but I never want you to miss out on something because I have a meeting. And so I'll always have someone able and ready to go so we don't miss a beat. And I use that on the listing side and the selling side, because like, hey, if someone wants to see your house, we'll make sure that they come right away or, whatever that story is. I think it's only an asset, like you have more people looking out for your best interest, so it's all about positioning, right? And I think
it is.
Team's a rule. I don't know.
Yeah,
It is. It's how you explain it and position it that makes the client comfortable. But that is, I've used that plenty of times too. Well, you actually, especially when Mo and I first started, you're actually getting both. You're getting two of us.
Yeah.
So then the client feels like, well, why would I pay the same price for just one person when I can have both of these gentlemen, here with me?
And have you seen their billboards?
Yeah. Have you seen their billboards? Hopefully the professional ones, not the jokester ones, but that actually get all the traffic,
all the attention.
The goofy ones get all the traffic. Yeah. Let me ask you guys this: have you had people leave your teams, and how'd that make you feel? What is your whole? for me personally, like you want someone to leave your team without hearing what you guys have to say first. I know that the competitiveness, like Lauren mentioned, and it's happened to me from starting out with a small team to even just having the brokerage now with, pushing 400 people. People are going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being really, really butthurt. The people leave for a magnitude of reasons. And then sometimes they come back when they see the grass may not be as green as I thought it was going to be. But I definitely remember being pretty butthurt the first time that happened. And it took a little while to say, people are going to come, people are going to go. And my first thought as a team lead or someone that's led a team, I guess, before, or a brokerage leader is you want people in the team sense, not at the brokerage level, but at a team level. Me personally, like, I don't think someone should be on my team for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's let's learn as much as you can, eventually spread your wings and jump out of the nest kind of thing. And then oftentimes I've heard at least the expression before, when you have a team, you're basically just training your own competition. And I'm sure you ladies have heard that, before as well. So I'd like to hear what your take is on those points I've made.
I'm going to respectfully disagree because I hope like there's a value proposition there that would make someone feel like they can do everything that they want to on your team. Now, if they want to self-market under their name alone, that's to me, I'm like, what is the only reason that someone would not want to be a part of my team? If they really like want to have the Bob Smith, group, like, okay, yeah, you can't do that, right? But like, just like, I have no desire to graduate and have a brokerage. I see what you guys have to do, and it is so much, and I don't want to. Like, so I'm like, I'm totally happy being a successful team at Glasshouse, right? Because you guys provide me what I need. So I feel like I think about that in the same way, like with my team, like, am I providing the right value for people at the different stages in their career? And if I can, like, they can never leave. They don't have to leave. I hate it when people leave. It hurts. It gets easier, like you're like, okay, it's not personal. It's not you. You didn't do, anything. But then there are some people out there that they hate me that were on the team before. They're like, you said we were going to make 6 figures. And I was like, oh no. I said, our top selling agents make 6 figures. Like, I'm sorry that didn't happen for you, but that is the truth on what happens on our team. And those things like pain me. I was like, I do not like thinking that there are people out there that are like, Elizabeth Cooper, like, yeah.
I didn't get rich overnight, and it's her fault.
Right? It's totally your fault.
So those things, like, yeah, I'm a human being, and it hurts.
Well, you spend more time sometimes with these folks on your team and at your company than you do with your real family. So it does feel like somewhat of a divorce.
Yeah.
When someone leaves, even if they don't have a negative reason, it still hurts. So, Lauren, what's your views on this?
Yeah, pretty similar. Like the first breakup, I'll call it a breakup. The first breakup I had, I did not handle it well. I did not, and I take full accountability on that. I did not handle that well. I was sad. I took it personal. I felt blindsided, like all of the things, right, that you would go through in a real life breakup. So yeah, I didn't handle it well. I think Evan told me a long time ago, and something that kind of stuck with me. I don't know if you ever knew this, but you said real estate teaches you about grace. I feel like that's so true.
I said that?
Yes, I know. I don't know what
sounds
happened
really
that
good.
day. I know.
Fancy.
So you're like, yes. But yeah, I think real estate really does. You have so much grace for your clients. You have so much grace for your co-op agent that you're working with. And you have to. You have grace for your team, for your clients, everyone, because real estate's stressful. You're handling hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably the biggest purchase that someone's ever going to make in their life. And stress levels are high, right? The stakes are high. So I think with the first time 2 agents left, I didn't handle it well. I have since learned, and I think I just had an agent actually come back to the group, and I think it spoke highly of our culture that we have at the Envision Group, because I think that for her to come back, and we welcomed her with open arms, and I was so grateful that she's back. But I think that kind of shifted how I handle a team. Like, it's not personal, it's business. I do want people to be successful and like spread their wings and fly, but I also agree with Elizabeth. I think that you can do that in a team. I think that there is space to where you can grow in a team. You can do everything that you want to do as an individual agent and still have that support. I mean, agents work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's nice to have a team to where if you want to go on vacation and like really get that one-on-one time with your kiddos, your husband, your significant other, you have that time. So yeah, I think it's hard, but you shouldn't take it personal.
And I think so. Don't burn bridges on your way out, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes, that's a big one.
I still have a great builder client because I made sure to maintain that relationship when I decided I wanted to do this. And so we, have had some people that like, gasoline on their way out.
Yeah.
And then others that, we were friends and then they didn't burn bridges. We kept in touch the whole time. They realized the grass isn't greener
And
at
they
those
come
places
back.
that you don't have to pay anything, that you're not getting anything. And they come back and it's like the best. Reunited and it feels so good.
I know.
I don't know how people, companies do what they do sometimes, and the horror stories that we hear as brokers. Oh, we left, whoever. 10 minutes later, they've shut their email down. They've shut their dot loop off. They treated them like garbage on the way out. And it's like,
So sad.
what are you gaining by doing that other than
Right.
that this person will never come back to you again?
And we're going to run into you in a couple of weeks at an event
Yeah,
or something.
right.
Or you may have to do a deal with
Or
me
you have
2
to
weeks
write
from
an
now.
offer and submit it to that person.
Yes, it just makes no sense. And so many times we've had that happen where it's, they come, they talk to us. We're thinking about making this change. They make the change. They're treated like crap. And then they end up saying, well, that was true colors came out there. And, then they feel more justified in the decision that they made based on how they were treated on the way out. But,
Yeah.
you guys have any negatives? I mean, of course, this is probably a weird loaded question to ask to team leads, but why would someone, not join a team?
I think there's a huge misconception on the finances of a team. Like until you like go and talk to every team that you're considering, I don't think you know that to be true. So that was a kind of like a negative connotation that I had about teams coming in. I was like, they're going to take all my money. Well, that's not necessarily true. And even those that take large percentages are probably paying a ton of money for you to have certain services and it's worth every penny. But you have to know those things. The only other thing that comes to mind, which we talked about before, is like if someone wants to market themselves, like, and just have their name and do their own crazy things, like, we're not having flames on our marketing or things like that. We have a certain color palette and font and things, things that we try to show that we are a cohesive unit. So if you don't want to work in those, guides, I understand, then it's not a fit.
And to piggyback off that, when I first got licensed, I was approached by multiple teams, hey, do you want to come join us? Do you want to join us? And I never wanted to be under someone. I didn't want to close all my deals under someone and not get any recognition or have to use that team lead's name. And there are some teams that run brilliantly that way and they enjoy it and agents don't care. And I kudos to them because I have that I don't want to be under one person. And that's why when I started the Envision group, I named it that because I was like, I don't want it to be the Lauren Dillon team. Like that's boring, and I don't want anyone else to feel like their hard work and their successes are diminished by my name. I want them to be applauded for all the work that they've done. So yeah, I think that's the only reason, in my opinion, why a lot of people, they think that all their money is going to be taken and they think that they're not going to get any recognition for their work.
I personally agree with you too. And I don't know where you stand on that, Elizabeth, but I know you guys don't operate. Well, there's 4 of you for starters who are leading the Dayton Real Estate Crush team. But Mo and I have always been the same way. I think 1 year, maybe both of our sales we put under Mo. But since we had other folks underneath us, since then, we've never gone that route. We've definitely thought about it. Well, hey man, if we just made everybody put this under you or me, we'd be in the top 10 in
it's only for stats,
with the board or whatever. But none of that really ever
Yeah.
mattered necessarily to us. And I think the team members appreciate that, being able to claim their own sales and get their awards for what they've done. And that was just something that never really meant that much to us. And speaking to the money part, that is a hot topic when you're dealing with teams, because everyone's different. Everyone has different splits. Um, sometimes the agent keeps their own personal sphere clients at a higher split, sometimes not. Why would I give someone 50%, of all my deals? And then you can go back and say, well, it's 50% of a deal you didn't have before,
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. I've got rebuttals all day for
Mm.
an agent questioning why they get this and why they get that. I could go on all day. But I believe in what I just said. That's 50% of a deal you never had before, not to mention the future clients that you're going to get in referrals from that client.
Mm-hmm.
So I see the value in a team from that perspective too, although sometimes it is hard to swallow given the team lead or whomever this money. But there's lots of expenses also that team leads have that I think that maybe, from the outside looking in, team members don't necessarily know how much those Zillow leads cost, or how much all that photography, video, signage, CRMs. I mean, you can go on and on about expenses when you try to run a successful team and the systems that you have to put in place to be productive and efficient as a team lead.
Right. I totally agree.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, when you're digging in your savings account for payroll or things like that, it's like it is not glamorous then, for sure. And there are a lot of expenses that come with it. Yeah, for physical location, tools, and everything. So it's having that conversation and understanding what you're getting, what the value is, and you're going to be paying someone something as an agent. I mean, there are very few instances where you're getting 100%. And then typically in those, they've never sold a house and they're getting 100% of nothing. So it really doesn't matter, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And guys, I want to, in the essence of time, Behind the Glass has been really great, a great opportunity for us to meet with our agents and outside constituents as well, talk about real estate, kind of be real about it and talk about what's going on. But at the end, we always try to do a little segment called Breaking the Glass, where we just talk about just crazy, stuff that realtors encounter on a showing. I mean, it could be a whole gamut of different things. I alluded to the time I found a dead body one time, which I didn't get into grave detail on. But I know that there's stories that everybody has, especially folks that have been doing it and as successfully as you two. So I didn't know if there was any kind of just funny story that you would like to share with us.
Do you want to go first?
I shared a story in the car that I have a friend who's awesome. Anyway, we're talking about vibes in houses, and I went into this house. We've shown it 3 times, and I was like, something creepy has absolutely happened here. And so my friend wanted to see it, and I was like, hey, I was like, just so you know, I was like, I'm getting real weird vibes in this house. Like, I'm not sure about it. And she's like, I got my guy. So her, I forget what he's called. Not a psychic or something, but
medium.
He has
Yeah.
a title. Came with us, and actually someone else even brought them in. But there's like something definitely happened here. And I've helped her with houses before, and he's checked some out and give us this one's good and this one is not good. But there are all sorts of things we have to consider. I thought I might need to start a side hustle and like saging post-divorce houses or something like that.
That's actually a good idea.
Just
Probably some
putting
good
that out
money.
there.
Probably some good money in there.
Right. There probably is.
Yeah.
Mine was we were getting ready. I was representing the sellers. We were getting ready to close on a property at like 4:00. At noon, the new buyer wanted to do their final walkthrough, which is like so standard. And the seller decided that if they came to do a final walkthrough, he was going to call the police. And sure enough, he called the police. He called the police on the buyers. By the grace of God, we closed that deal. The buyers got the house. It was fine. But yes, the police had to show up to that house. It was terrible.
So you're like, you're calling us why? What is it?
Mhm. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So I had to apologize a million times to that buyer's agent. Again, why it's so important to have good relationships with the co-ops that you have. So, Yeah.
And I had one come to mind on the way down because Lauren and I were at cheerleading camp last night, and I ran into a past client that I hadn't seen in a long time, but it made me think about showing these folks the first house. I worked with these people, and they were recently married or getting married. I can't remember which of the two, but it was that amazing feeling when you take someone and the first house you show them, they fall in love, and you're like, wow,
It's a rare thing.
this is going to be like legal theft on this one. And it was too good to be true because I'm pulling out of there, and the listing agent calls and says, Evan, I just got to tell you, there was a murder in that house. And I don't even ask many questions after that. I'm like, okay, you don't say, But in the age of the internet, I'm obviously going to tell my clients that was said to me. And then of course, thanks to Google, these folks were able to read all about it, go even get into the nuts and bolts. I mean, there was even pictures of who killed who, and the odd thing was it was by sword, which I've never heard of anyone being killed by a sword, and I mean not in modern day.
Right.
So and it was in the master bedroom. Needless to say, honestly, ironically enough, the wife was fine with it, and then the husband said, "No, we're not doing that."
I don't think I could
doing that.
either. I don't blame him.
Me either.
I don't think I could.
Me either. And I live in an old house personally, and I don't even want to dig in
Yeah.
to.
Don't go through the archives.
No, because 100 years ago, I mean, you would have viewings and funerals, and you're in the parlor of these homes, and I just don't want to know.
Mm-mm. I wouldn't either.
Personally. Anything else? Anything else crazy happened to y'all lately?
Oh,
Or at least a little strange?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Lately, I had one. It was a very, very expensive house. My clients were the sellers. Again, I guess I attract like crazy sellers. Maybe I don't know. But they were supposed to be out on like, let's say it was Friday at noon. I got a call Thursday night at like 7 p.m. Not one thing had been packed. Not no boxes, nothing. So, yeah, I was calling around all Friday morning to try to find movers. I had to go over there and help move some things out myself. And that's another thing in real estate. You're the landscaper, you're the mover, you're the dog walker, you're everything. Oh, I've taken dogs out of my client's house, put them in my car and been like, okay, you can go in and show the house now. Yeah, I know. I have the crazy people, but I love them. I love all my clients. So yeah, she wasn't out Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I think Sunday night it happened, but yeah.
That seems to happen a lot. I've had that happen, and I've heard that happen as the broker from our agents quite a bit.
Yeah.
Quite
I don't know
if
deadlines and contracts matter sometimes, I guess. Maybe. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
The only thing I can think of is sometimes we see things that we shouldn't see. Like somebody left out a sex toy, or somebody's doing drugs here, or I just stepped in dog crap,
I had a list. I showed a house very recently, and when you said sex toy, there was a stripper pole in the middle of the living room that was like bolted in, but in the photos online, it was photoshopped out. So it was a great surprise when we walked in. It's hilarious.
It's great when those fun things happen.
Right.
Like I don't have anything quite like that, but I have definitely stumbled upon the topless neighbor sunbathing scenario, which bonus showing there. But yeah, it is funny how the things that realtors encounter that people just don't even really think about.
You just roll with
when
it.
You're approaching, when you're walking into strangers' homes all the time, how much care they take to put certain things away, as an example. But I appreciate those stories, guys, and it's always fun to hear the kind of the lighter side of real estate, I suppose. And greatly appreciate having you two as successful team leads with Glasshouse on the program. Do we call this a program?
Yeah,
I don't know. But just real quickly here, what do you guys see as the future of teams? Like I know I alluded to at the beginning, like when I first got into real estate, teams weren't that big of a thing, and almost kind of frowned upon by the bigger corporate brokerages, probably because it affected their bottom line, if I had to guess. But like with them becoming so much more popular, do you guys have any sort of
I think they'll continue on. I think the race to the bottom is something that needs to stop happening. So to me, it's like, what other value can be added to make this a place that someone wants to stay? Like, that's where my head is. I'm just like, emulate what the boys are doing because you guys are doing such a great job. And I also think finding a company like this that has such amazing teams that I can learn from all the time is like pretty fabulous. But you didn't ask me that, but I just wanted
Well, I
to say
appreciate
yeah.
that. Good job. I'll pay you after the recording's over.
Yeah. I don't think that teams are going to go anywhere. I think that it's always going to be a need in real estate. Just for the simple fact that you don't get a whole lot of training from taking your exams. That's not your day-to-day in real estate. I think the support and guidance will always be needed. I mean, you can take as many classes as you want, onboardings as you want, but that's not the phone call at 10 p.m. when you're writing a contract and don't know what verbiage to put in there for a concession or something silly like that, to where we can all help each other. And that's also why I think teams are so valuable. It's not just the leads, it's not just the transaction coordinator, it's the family aspect. Everyone's rooting for you, everyone's behind you.
It is. I think it's an amazing thing. I think teams are great for all these reasons that you guys mentioned. They're almost like small little cohorts within the grand scheme of things. And at Glasshouse, we've got, I don't even know how many different teams we have, but we have 2-person teams, 5-person teams, 20-person teams. We've got a team that's all public servants and firefighters, cops, EMS, EMT, all those things. I mean, just very cool scenarios involved with a lot of our teams. Hell, we have a team in Cleveland that we just brought on that is, I don't know even what you call them other than a super team, where there's 80 to 90 and growing agents.
Wow.
In the Cleveland market that just do an amazing job. Not only, I mean, aside from the fact that they'll probably do 1,000 transactions in the next year, the stuff they do in the community up there is just like absolutely unreal. And that kind of is something that carries suit, I think, with most of our teams at Glasshouse. Everyone's ingrained in the community. Everyone's doing things to help the need when they can. So we've been very fortunate, and I couldn't agree with you guys more that it's a fellowship. When you have a team, it's so much more than, hey, I'm going to get these leads. Hey, I'm going to make it life easier for the team lead so she can hang out with her family more. I think it just goes so much farther beyond that, where it is a community of realtors that help one another is basically what a team is to me in the real estate industry. So again, I want to thank you guys. I wanted to ask you one more question though, which I just think is kind of fun and silly, I guess. But and I'll start with Lauren Dillon.
Okay.
Lauren, if you could give your young real estate self any kind of words of advice, unrelated to teams or whatever, just kind of what would that be?
Not
one word?
Not one word. Just some advice. That you would give
okay.
What would you have done different, I guess?
What would I have done different? I would have, this sounds so cliche. I would have gotten on a team quicker. I would have, or found a very, very detailed mentor. I feel like, I've told people this. I've told people who joined my team, I got licensed on a Tuesday and had my first deal under contract on Friday. I had no idea what I was doing. I had a very, very nice co-op agent who was very patient with me. I can't stand when realtors are, I've been doing this 30 years and what are you doing? It's like, we're all in this together. So yeah, I would say getting a really good mentor from the start. I would definitely do that, because those first few contracts I wrote, who knows what those said?
Who knows what those said? Coop, what do you got?
If I could get in a DeLorean, yes, I would tell the earlier self to treat your business like a business. Because when I got my tax bill, my first full year, and I owed $48,000, and I was like, "Oh my God, what?"
Taxes?
Yeah. Taxes and realtors.
The old 1099 awakening is what they call that.
So it's like, make sure that you're setting up those things. Now, I'm going to caveat that with just go and do it, and you'll figure this stuff out. And I think that's the most important, because if you wait to have everything perfect, you're not going to. But I wish I would have set myself up better as a business owner right from the get.
Sure.
Now I'm just cleaning up.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You know, hit the ground running, work hard, find people, surround yourself with people, you know, that are going to take care of you and love you, whether it's a team or otherwise, I think is the name of the game. And I definitely want to say thank you guys once again to Elizabeth Cooper, Dayton Real Estate Crush team, and we've got Lauren Dillon from the Envision Group. They're both highly successful in real estate, and they're wonderful human beings. Can't thank y'all enough for joining your broker here today on Behind the Glass. So thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks ladies for joining today.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Behind the Glass by Glasshouse Realty. Want to learn more? Go to glasshouserealty.com/podcast.